go home with us. Pretty neat piece. It's the time we've been dreading. We're going to try to straighten this piece of steel on the bottom of the chassis here. And I got some new pieces of steel cut out right here. So we're going to put that new piece on the outside. We're going to straighten that inside piece. And this bar has got a little bit of a bend in it right here. We're going to bend it back out and we're going to gusset everything up good. And Debbie thinks we're going to need 2 torches. So that's what we're going to use. So this is about the redneckest way you can do this, but we use what we got, and that's how we fix things. We got 2 chain winches hooked on there to the forklift, all right? One to the bar, one to the bottom of the plate. I have a bottle jack underneath there with a block holding it up, pushing on the bottom of the plate, and trying to get everything twisted back where it was. Bevy has been heating to where his knuckles are slightly warm. We had that plate and tube pretty hot, and then it was moving the monster and forklift together, so we put a bar in between them. So now things are moving a little better, but when you're sliding a 12,000 pound monster truck, and I don't know what that forklift weighs, but the rear of it's heavy, you know you're putting some pressure on things. But we are making progress. So Bevy's letting pressure off of things. We got the come-alongs both loose, and the thing is out from underneath it, the jack, and it looks like it pretty well stayed. So now this plate is about back where it needs to be. It's actually, the plate's pretty straight, minus this bend right here around this hole right here at the end where the 4-link bar actually hooks. That's what took the biggest impact. And so we got to heat that up now and bend that back. So I think we warmed the shop up about 10 degrees in here with all the torching we did. But we got this thing to where it is pretty nice compared to what it was. So the plate's pretty darn straight. It obviously has some hot spots in it. It's cooling down. The bar is pretty darn straight. And now I just need to clean these welds up right in here. Just a little bit more, a little grinding. Ron did some of it the other day. And then I can weld the plate on the outside, and we've got some gussets, and we're going to make this thing a lot tougher because it's going to have to be able to take harder hits than that, or it's not going to be around here. All right, so it's weld day around here, and I got everything mocked up. As you saw last night, we got it all bent back and everything. Got a new plate cut right here, which I'll show you. Brody Townsend cut that, so big thank you to him. Jason Groove let us use his equipment to cut it from the scrap yard that I did the display for. So thanks to those guys. New plate on there, mocked up. I V'd it out down here, pretty decent. Can get 2 passes of weld in there. Fill all this in with weld. That tube, you're only going to be able to get so hot. So I'm going to weld it as hot as I can get it without burning through. And then I actually got a plate to put along the back side of here. We're going to box that in. That's going to make that not do that ever again, hopefully. I actually got a couple of gussets to put right here as well, which will help on that tube. But yeah, I'm gonna blow some weld on this thing. Got some weld laid on her. That's good enough. I gotta pull the axle back now and get that bar hooked back up. Chain winch hooked on the Merica here. I can't think of a better use for Merica than pulling a monster truck axle backwards. So I had the monster truck in park and Merica in neutral. That didn't work. Let's try this again. Every time I went Merica to try to move the monster truck axle, Merica moves. Fully sliding the side of this truck. So, guess we're gonna have to use the forklift now. I'm not going to put any load on this thing yet. I'm just going to get the bolt stuck through and the nut put on it so that we can move it around a little bit and then weld it good, and then I'll cinch it down. I kind of like it having a little gap there so you can suck it tight. If I was going to build this chassis, I would not have designed this bottom this way. We're just essentially fixing what we got dealt with here. And it works, and I think it'll be all right if we brace it up a little bit. But there's things that, whenever you buy something from somebody else, there's just things you do different. Nothing, no offense to Paul or anybody that built it. It's just everybody has their own swing on things. I would have did it a little differently. If you look at Mike Vaughters' bus, it's basically it's the same chassis as this originally. It was built at the same time, and he built his own badass cradle underneath it. I really like the cradle he made. He spent like a week on it, he said, which is quite a bit of time, and he did a nice job. I would probably do something similar, but this is what we got, and it works, so it's what we're going to use. And we're going to fix it for now because we got to go racing. I got a long sleeve on now. I have burnt myself everywhere welding because I welded all evening on this thing. I think I got it patched up pretty decent for right now. So basically, got the new plate installed. I burnt some big old welds in on the top right here. Beat that out, welded all that. Made gussets back here and put them on both sides. You can see there's some over there. I welded it together here with the plate. I've got a plate on the bottom, which you can't see, that welds it together right here. I even went on the front and welded the sucker together, put a plate across that, and I want to plate the bottom end this winter, maybe here in a month or so. We get some shows out of the road and things slow down. I mean, this truck ran like this for a few years, so I know it's okay. It's just obviously you can't land wrong on it. I want to be able to land it anyway, but straight, and it still be all right. So, but yeah, welded plate there, gussets there. So, got it back to where I think it's pretty good for right now. This winter, I have some ideas of where I want to put some tubes in the cradle, brace the cradle up even more, make it stronger. Because if we're going to sled pull this thing and do crazy stuff with it, we're going to make this thing strong. So I got the pulling truck mentality on it, I guess, and I kind of looked at where it needs bracing and whatnot, and we're going to put our swing on it. But yeah, for now, making progress. I need to tighten that bottom 4-link bolt up now. It'll have a little preload on it, everything that way, kind of draw it all together. And then need to blow some paint on it. Got the new Lexan to put right there. Got the alternator hanging on it. I want to try to hook that up yet this week. Put a mechanical belt-driven water pump on it. New radiator hose on the bottom. Need to put Lexan around the air-to-water box on the side right here. Need to Lexan all this in just for protection so nothing comes up in the cab with me or Hunter, or which it shouldn't. We shouldn't be doing anything crazy while he's in there, but don't want to poke a hole in that water box. So lots to do yet, little time. 4-wheel jamboree coming up here, and then the show at Butler where it's got a race. So we're going to keep after it. All right, so basically we moved the monster truck, got Merica outside here. Bevy changed the spring and the valve body from the 2 to 3 shift. That should affect it, hopefully, make it shift a little later. And we also plugged the wastegate off. We're thinking maybe when it popped on that record run that maybe it bent the wastegate, and it's opening obviously and it's coming back closed, but maybe it's hanging up a little bit when it shifts. So Bevy's got fluid in it. We're gonna take it out and test it again.
Yeah, we'll see if it's still broke.
Alright, testing. See if he can get to third gear without hitting anything, including me. My father's truck parts he's stashing there are not in a very safe spot. I mean, it seemed like it pulled.
It seemed like the ticket there.
Yeah. And it didn't hang clear a little later.
Seemed like it, yeah. I mean, it didn't even want to chirp or snuff or anything.
Yeah.
So. I think there was a combination. So we don't have a TV cable on here anymore, so I have the TV lever zip tied back. So when I put the transmission back in it from rebuilding it with new clutches, I don't think I got the TV lever pulled all the way back.
Could have been.
And then the 2 to 3 shift spring in the valve body I think was getting weak. So those two together brought it right back where it should have been.
Need to pull that puck out of that wastegate.
Before we spray
Check it
nitrous.
again.
Yeah.
Because if you pull it out of that wastegate with no nitrous and it falls under, we know that's an issue.
I don't think that'll be an issue because it waited a lot later in shift.
Of course, the track's loose with the crap.
Well, I had to kind of steer
Got
around
that stuff, which is scary enough.
Yeah, I think it's on the right track.